Well, we get to start another classification of animals that have backbones. First, let's remember that scientists have placed each type of animal into its own class. We have the classification of fish, birds, amphibians, reptiles, and mammals. Now we've gone over the birds and the reptiles. Now it's time to take a closer look at the fish. We found out that birds go in the class because they have feathers. Reptiles go into their class because they're cold-blooded and have scales. They're covered with scales. And you might say to me, Mrs. Brainer, fish are covered with scales. Shouldn't they be in with the reptiles? That is a really, really good idea and a really good observation. Let's take a look at scales, because there are a lot of fish that have them. They're really beautiful. But you know what? Not all fish have scales. They are a particular kind of skin that are on some fish. Can you name a fish that you know that doesn't have scales? I know of one. He should say meow, but he doesn't. He is called a catfish. Oh my goodness, look at this gigantic catfish. Catfish actually just have a leathery skin, just like maybe us, even if we were spent too much time in the water. But there are many fish that do not have scales. So what makes a fish a fish? Well, it's because a fish is always in the water. You got to say it that way. A fish is always in the water. It cannot live outside of the water. Now think about it. Does a lizard live always in the water? Nope. Does turtle? They spend a lot of time in there, but they have nostrils. They have lungs. Fish do not. Here's a picture of a fish, what it looks like on the inside. Do you see those fun pinkish looking lines inside his mouth? Those are called gills. And the gills of a fish is what he breathes with. He opens his mouth, sucks in water, the water races past the gills, and the gills takes out the oxygen. You and I breathe like this. Open your mouth wide and go, yeah. We just brought in air into our lungs, and the lungs filter out the oxygen. Well, there is oxygen inside water. And the fish brings that water in, and its gills filter out the oxygen. It's pretty fascinating. Have you ever watched a fish in a tank or seen a fish? And he opens his mouth a lot. He makes that fishy mouth. Can you do it? Well, that fishy mouth is him breathing. That's exciting. Now, the other thing is they are cold-blooded like lizards and turtles and snakes and dinosaurs, but the difference is they have to be in that water. There are all kinds of different shapes and colors, and if you can imagine God just making every one of these wonderful creatures called fish and just having such a good time doing it. Seahorse is one we're going to focus on today because of the special sound we're also learning, or in morning, O-R, and I thought it would be fun for us to work on that. It's an unusual kind of fish. There's also called a sea dragon. Wait till you see the video on the sea dragon. They're fascinating. God has created so many things. Hey, who remembers what day of creation fish were made on? They were made on the same day as birds. And I want to remind you, you take your fingers and you put them together, and you put them on your cheeks, and you make fishy face. Can you think of the day he created fish and birds? Well, enjoy drawing your fish in your nonfiction writing book.